So, hello and welcome to this special show. Yesterday we saw England equalizing the series 1-1, but this video will all be about Rohit Sharma. Uh, and somewhat this series has turned into something which is related to legacy, pride, and somewhat prestige as well. Rohit Sharma, a lot of news going around that he might call it quits. Selection committee might not pick him going ahead in this particular format. His dream of 2027 ODI World Cup will remain unfulfilled. Shamikta also did a story. You can go on to our website, Revsportz.in, and read the story about what is going on with Rohit Sharma for in-depth details. But in this video, we'll discuss around what is exactly happening around Rohit Sharma. Boryada is in England covering the series at this moment. So let's start with Boryada firstly. Uh, Korea, what is happening? Rohit Sharma, before this series, there was nothing, but suddenly after two failures, we are seeing a lot of news coming around that the selection committee might not pick him going forward, and that of course the ODI World Cup dream might we might not see that get complete. Uh, to Rohit Sharma, what are you hearing?
You see, first thing is when you think about sport is about performance. Whoever you are, even if you are Tendulkar, it is about performance. So when you see the two failures, and more the way he batted in Cardiff, you know that it was a poor innings. Whatever Sitanshu Kotak comes and says in the press conference and tries to justify, you know that it has been a poor innings. Having said that, Having said that, if somebody says that Rohit Sharma was communicated this ahead of the series, that look, these three games are your last, and then Rohit Sharma came to play three bilateral ODIs as a farewell, it's slightly difficult to believe that Rohit Sharma was not thinking of 27. Rohit Sharma has just come here to play three games and then go back with retirement. Slightly difficult to believe. If anyone knew that story ahead of the series, should have done that story because that was a headline. It is common sense that after two failures, one in Birmingham and one in Cardiff, the Cardiff one looked really bad. Last 10 balls were dot balls, and then the 10th ball he got out to Will Jacks. It's common sense that when you have somebody like a Yashasvi Jaiswal sitting in the wings with 200s in three games, pressure will mount on Rohit Sharma, and the selection committee is well within their rights to do what they are doing. Having said that, retirement is not selection committee's call. If Shubhan today, I can go and tell Shubhan, you're not good enough for Revsportz, so I will not let you write. I can say that as editor, that's my job. But whether Shubhan will write or not is Shubhan's call, not mine. He'll say, get lost. I will keep writing. You might not want to use me for Revsportz. Absolutely fair. If today Boria wants to keep writing or doing videos, whether anybody watches or not is that person's problem, or any platform carries it or not is their call. But whether Boria will do it or not is Boria's call. So whether Rohit will retire is not Ajit Agarkar's calling. It is Rohit Sharma's calling or Pragya Oja or RP Singh's calling. It is entirely Rohit Sharma's calling. Having said that, what is Ajit Agarkar's calling is Rohit Sharma the best person for the job going forward for India? Absolutely his call. Now, basis what we have seen in by the way, let me also say this. I generally don't do this. Yesterday in the press box, I told Rohit Juglan that I will kind of do a Tendulkar. When Tendulkar in Chennai with immense pain, what he was doing was he was following the ball around. So from the bowler to the slip fielder, he was doing that so that his concentration was there in that 136. I was actually not watching the game. I was following Rohit Sharma. I was watching his body language. What is he doing? Is he throwing the ball? Is he smiling? Is he not? Is he looking lost? Is he gazing at the crowd? Is he kind of not involved? Is he not there mentally? Because I was absolutely watching Rohit Sharma. And let me tell you this, he was what you don't see on television. Television shows you one screen. Rohit Sharma was not giving me any vibe of not being involved like Sydney. What is the difference between Sydney and now? You were there in Sydney, Shubhan. Sydney, he was lost. Everybody thought, "Arey, he's not even batting. He's standing there. He looked lost. That batting stint of his was worst. He was not getting anything done." This is not the case in England. He has done 1 hour fielding drills. He's absolutely hands on. He's calling T. Dilip and saying, let's do slip catching along with Shubman Gill. He's in it. In his batting drills, he's taking the nets off and doing a separate batting drill. Even in match situations, Now, why is he doing all this? To retire at the end of 3 games? That's the if he doesn't score at Lords, it is pretty much obvious, right, that the selection committee is well within their rights to say, look, you are not performing. Having said that, suppose he gets a big one at Lords. At this point, looks difficult. I'm saying that. But suppose he does, that's sport. That is what sport is about. If I know Rohit well, Shumik will claim the same, you will claim the same. Rohit is one of those people who wouldn't have played if he did not believe in his heart of hearts that he can still score. Whether or not he scores is a different matter. Ronaldo played the World Cup because Ronaldo believed he can do the job for Portugal. He failed. Neymar played because he believed. Novak is still playing because he believes in his heart of hearts he can beat Yannick Sinner. These are greats. Rohit believes he can do the job. Messi is. Ronaldo failed. Rohit can fail, will fail, should fail. All of that is fine, but believes he can do the job. And that is what it is about greats of sport. Tendulkar played on. Now you might say 2012 and 13 were not good enough years for Tendulkar. Why did he do that? But he believed he can do the job. That's why he continued till the time he continued. That's where I will leave it, Shubham, because this is a very tricky one. Here is somebody who has put in hours and hours and hours of effort, believes that he can do the job, but on the part of the selection committee, there is a certain Yashasvi Jaiswal also sitting in the wings.
Yeah, regarding his commitment, there's no doubt that he has put in the yards. Be it transforming his batting, what we saw in 23. Again, he has come back to a different template altogether. But that is very given that he's not the captain anymore. He does not take the call. He does not take the call those shots anymore. So he'll have to go back to his old style of batting. But there's no doubt about his efforts. The hunger to make India win with the bat, there's all of that still intact in Rohit Sharma. Shamika, you did a story. Can you give us some insight about what is going on with selection committee and Rohit Sharma? What is the background chatter that is going around Rohit and his future in international cricket?
Shubhan, I mean, maybe we need to give a bit of a backstory also because this tug of war between Rohit Sharma and the selection committee has been going on for sort of over the last 1 year or so. I mean, it sort of started at the thing that a day before the Sydney Test, it sort of started from there. There was a meeting. There was a meeting between Rohit Sharma and Ajit Agarkar at the SCG, and it sort of started from there. And then cannot name the sources. The selection committee. I mean, you are allowed to read between the lines because we have to keep it a little guarded. The selection committee communicated to Rohit Sharma. First of all, he wanted to go to England for the five-test series, but he was told that no, we don't agree to this. And then he basically it prompted him hanging up his red ball boots. Now, after the Champions Trophy, as the new cycle was beginning, new ODI cycle was beginning in October last year. Before that, Rohit was told that look, I mean, we are trying to uh, have an eye on the 2027 World Cup, and we think Jasasi Jaiswal is ready, and he needs sufficient game time to be ready for the 2027 World Cup. So they are even planning to move on from Rohit right from the October. I mean, in October when the new ODI cycle began. But certain things, it's Rohit Sharma, and we are talking about Rohit Sharma. Certain approvals are needed. Something, I mean, it is not a straightforward call. It is not like it is not like dropping any Tom, Dick, or Harry. So Rohit Sharma went to Australia, returned as the player of the tournament, and then the subsequent home ODI series, he scored runs intermittently, but the selectors were not convinced. And all along, there is a feeling, and now that Justice scored 200s in his last three ODIs, the feeling that this is the time, and if we don't bring him to the fold, now he will not be getting the proper bedding in period for the 2027 World Cup. So this has been communicated to Rohit. I have my doubts that even if, and I might be wrong here, but I have my doubts based on sources that even if Rohit scores a big one at Lords, whether because the selectors have made up their minds. Then again, there's the catch. In September, there is a BCCI AGM. New set of selectors will come. Ajit Agarkar getting an extension is doing the rounds. I can confirm that nothing has been decided as yet because the BCCI and Agarkar hasn't spoken about it. There hasn't been a discussion on Agarkar's extension. That might happen during the review meeting. That is scheduled after the England series. That might happen, and also it is important to know whether at all Agarkar is willing to is seeking an extension. That is also important. It's not about BCCI giving in an extension. So certain things can change going ahead. Obviously, I totally agree that maybe there is no. I don't see Rohit Sharma retiring, but at least for the timing, maybe. I mean, I don't know whether he would be able to make a comeback because we don't pass on a judgment like a bona fide great. But at least for the timing, this is going to be his last. This is what my feeling is. The Lord's game.
Now, Boriana, we'll keep this video a bit short, bit brief. We won't go half an hour, 1 hour mark. Of course, this discussion is such that you time flies on. But at the same time, Boriana, you have covered cricket so much. You have covered sports as a whole so much. When there's a chatter around the future of player, leave alone the experience bit, but a player in general, when there's a chatter around his form, his fitness, uh, maybe his future in the format or in that particular sport, before every series, before every tournament, even during the break, does that affect does that affect a player? Do you see are you seeing that affecting Rohit Sharma as a batter also? Because in Afghanistan against a decent Afghanistan bowling attack, you saw him struggle. Against England, he's struggling in these last two matches. He's not the same Rohit Sharma anymore. Yes, he's 39-year-old, etc., etc. Not everyone can be Messi. That is also a fact. But all this chatter, are you seeing that affect Rohit Sharma, the batter, Rohit Sharma, the player out there?
See, I don't think the chatter impacts. I think what impacts is take the Rahul Dravid VVS Lakshman story. VVS Lakshman's graph would always be more sudden than Rahul Dravid. He was hand-eye. Rahul Dravid was more technique. Virat is more technique. Rohit was more hand-eye. So the graph would be that. That's basic understanding of cricket. If the chatter would have impacted, I met him twice. Once in in the last few months. The MCA meeting, you guys know. If the chatter would have impacted, he would not be doing what he is doing. It is and Rohit is one of those fellows who absolutely manages himself well to kind of wiggle himself out of that chatter. The way I saw him train here in the 2 sessions or 3 sessions that I've seen, he was doing fielding drills for 1 hour. He wouldn't do it with the chatter. Fielding drills for 1 hour, 1 hour.
That I saw in Afghanistan series also. Fielded before batting, batted, then fielded after batting.
Correct. And you know Edgbaston, the team had gone out to that outdoor net. This guy was inside. Bumrah was training for Yorker practice. He was kind of nailing Yorker after Yorker. Shubman Gill came and stood behind Rohit Sharma and he was training with T. Dilip. And he called Dilip. There was an animated conversation. I was watching from the press box. There was an animated conversation here, there, putting fields, and then he was training. Then he did a simulation with the batting session. In fact, he even said to the media, go back because I'm going to hit my shots. And he had taken the nets off so it can hit you. So he asked them to push back. So, when he is doing all this, and like I told you, he met Amit Shah and a couple of other journalists, your friend Ongkon, day before, and they had gone out for dinner. So they were discussing what to eat, etc., etc. And Rohit was asking all kinds of questions. His body language, and Amit was telling me, was he and Kuldeep Yadav had gone, was completely relaxed. Rohit Sharma is one of those chaps. You push him, he becomes harder. I agree with Shobik. He has not looked good. I always will give priority to my objectivity as a journalist. But he has not looked good. Selectors are well within their rights to question. Every fan watching is within their right to question him. that, boss, you're not looking good. You have got your chances, you're not looking good. But retirement is not the fans' call, not Ajit Agarkar's call, or your call, or my call, or Shomik's call. It's his call. Whether or not he will retire, does he believe I can make a comeback? People believe Ganguly was gone during Greg Chappell. Ganguly went to Ranji Trophy and all of a sudden scored that 118 and made a comeback. Now, I'm not saying at 39 Rohit can make that. But a lot of us believed after the Qatar World Cup, Messi and Ronaldo are done. We are not going to see Messi and Ronaldo play in the US. They did. We thought Novak Djokovic was done a couple of years earlier. He's carrying on. Does he know that he will not win a Grand Slam? Does he believe? You go and say, and he will like, what are you talking about? I can still beat Yannick Sinner and Zverev and whoever. This is about these greats, and I'm a Rohit. So there are two sides of me. A Rohit Sharma supporter, and that's purely personal because he and I have built a relationship over the last 20 years of affection, of camaraderie. And then there is the side of me as a journalist where I have to wear my objective hat. As a Rohit Sharma supporter, I found it painful to watch him in Cardiff. It was not the way I want him to bat. And I'm being candid. I was wanting him to dance down the track and deposit Will Jacks, a Ranji level bowler in the stands. Okay? Rohit Sharma blocking was not something I want to see. So that side of me found it painful. And the journalist side of me prompted to ask the questions. Do you want to see, is he your best 11 when Yash Jaiswal is sitting out? But that's where the story is, that can he push himself at Lords, get it done? And once, if he does get it done, there are two parts. Doesn't get it done. Over 3 games, you have failed. Selectors are within their rights to say, look, unfortunately, you are not doing the job. Time to move on. We will go to Jaiswal. Your decision. Suppose he gets it done. And what do I mean by get it done? Not 100. Even if he gets a 50, which looks a superb 50, 7 fours, real timing, good Rohit Sharma innings. All of us say, much like Virat Kohli. Virat Kohli's 65 was sublime. You, me, Shomik will say some innings. Not 100, but some innings. So suppose he does that. And then he says, now I've done it. Yes, it was the 3rd game of the series. I have put it on record. Now you decide whether you want me or don't want me. Like Shomik said, the ball is in the court of the selection committee. I am not the one to take the call. It is, will he be defiant? And he is well within his rights to do that. That's where the matter is at the moment. Has Rohit said anything publicly? No, he hasn't. Has anything come out from there that he'll put out a statement? Nothing like that has come out. Will he? We don't know yet. So I don't want to jump the gun on this one. A lot of Rohit Sharma fans, and you know who I'm talking about, Shubhan, and how many, all of them have reached out to me saying, sir, tell us. And I've said the same thing to all of them. So I'm saying the same thing, that Cardiff was painful to watch, but with greats, you have that little bit of leeway always, that they defy the odds. Can Rohit Sharma defy the odd one final time?
That's a question people will be seeking an answer for in the coming days. But Shamikta, one final question: the gap between bilateral ODI series, is that also a factor behind selectors taking a call? Because every time, right after the Afghanistan series, Virat did not play. First match he failed. People said, okay, it will take time, a couple of matches for him to get up to the mark. And then we saw that in the second ODI as well. With now selection committee knowing that there's a bit of gap for the next series, and then between the next after the next series, these gaps, these rustiness of Rohit and Virat still is among runs. His fitness is sublime. Nothing around Virat, but for Rohit Sharma, is that also a factor to now go on? Go to a younger player, a deserving player like Yashasvi Jaiswal, so that every time a bilateral series comes, every time a World Cup comes, you don't have to wait for 2, 3, 4 matches for a player to pick up that momentum and form in crucial stages.
Yeah, Shubhan, you're right. I mean, the fact of the matter is that it is very difficult to be a one format player, and that format, which is sort of, although we have 2027 World Cup, that's why it has taken precedence. But otherwise, this format is sort of this sort of lead ICC is even during this England tour. Although we have a World Cup just 12 months down the line, India played 5 T20s and only 3 ODIs. So This is also a factor, and Virat is fitter, younger than Rohit, and also, I mean, he is a different batsman compared to Rohit. He is a different batsman compared to Rohit, but still, it is very difficult. That is number one, and also, if you look at it, after this series, how many ODIs India would be playing in the lead up to the 2027 World Cup? Maybe 20, 26 they were. So sort of 20 ODIs they will play, 19, 20 ODIs. So I can understand the thought process of Ajit Agarkar and company that if you are bringing on someone, you need to give him the time to bed in. And that for that, you cannot just bring him on with and give him just 5, 6 ODIs going into a World Cup. He needs the he needs good enough time to be in sync with the team's philosophy, everything. So from that point of view, these are the two aspects that is. But what I can confirm that this is mostly 95% selection committee's decision, contrary to the perception that the nudge came from the team management.
Yeah,
Interesting,
Shubman, I'll
interesting.
add
Yes.
one point here. I'll add one point here. And I have been seeing this. When I came to England last year and you were with me, when I was in Australia, you were with me. When I was in the World Cup, you were with me. I will say this. World Cup, he was not there. Sorry, Asia Cup. You were with me.
Mm.
I have seen a very different body language from Shubman Gill. And I want to add the Shubman Gill factor into the mix. Last year, when Shubman Gill came to England, Shubman Gill was the captain, but it was Gautam Gambhir's team. Gautam Gambhir was taking the calls. Go bat 4, go bat 3, go bat 2, whatever it is. Shubman Gill was the captain who was getting into groove. When I saw Shubman Gill at the press conference where he said, I was talking with Virat Kohli about team composition in South Africa, it was someone telling me that, boss, it is as much my team. I will also take calls. I've become the leader in the last 1 year. I've got power in that dressing room. I am the top batter. I am batting the way that I am. And alongside Gautam, this is now a team. Gautam and I will take calls together. It is as much Shubman Gill's team as anybody else's team. And going into the World Cup, Gautam wants to obviously sort of do 2028 Olympics, is what I understand. Shubman will be there till the 2028 Olympics. I also see him coming back at some point in the T20 fold. I will be extremely surprised if he doesn't. I see Shubman Gill going forward having a major say in Indian cricket. I'm making no qualms. People can say PR, Shia, I don't care. This is what I know and I understand. The Rohit Sharma call will not be a sole selection committee call. There has to be a buy-in from the captain and the management. Is everybody on the same plane? Shubman Gill buy-in will be necessary. All of these things, this is Rohit Sharma. This is Rohit Sharma, 20 years of service to Indian cricket, the world's greatest ODI batter. Rohit Sharma. So Shubman Gill, and Shomik is right, at this point in time, has everybody kind of bought into the decision? Are there meetings still to be done? Will there be back channel talks over the next couple of days? From what I understand, will the powers that be, the people in Indian cricket who matter, will they get involved as well? Shomik referred to it, didn't name some of them. We can't name some of them, but they are also hands-on involved. We know with MS Dhoni who I'm talking about. Otherwise, MS Dhoni wouldn't have been captain. Gautam would have been. So there are people who also hold power within the circuit. A lot will be done. So to jump the gun and say, done, finished, it doesn't happen like that. It doesn't happen like that. There has to be a buy-in. They'll also project it like that. That it's a, there has to be a projection as well. Deep Dasgupta and I were chatting till about midnight yesterday on this, that there also has to be a projection of this. This is Rohit Sharma. This is not someone just random. So let's not jump the gun on this one. Let's not jump the gun. I understand 99% if he fails at Lords, we have possibly seen the last of him, because in terms of performance, the selection committee will say no, not good enough. But Suppose he does it, and then he says, "Hello, I've now done it. I'm putting my name forward. Drop me." Then what do you do? Do you have the buy-in from the captain? Do you have the buy-in from the coach? Do you have the buy-in from the powers that be in the BCCI? Will the powers that be say no? We don't want to be involved. And by the way, Shubhan, this is Indian cricket. There is emotion. There is emotion. Now, anyone comes and says, "Ah, we don't care." Who says you don't care? You damn well care. You know. But let's
Absolutely.
not hurt ourselves. I mean, but it's Rohit Sharma you're talking about. You mean to say broadcast interest doesn't come in? You mean to say sponsors interest doesn't come in? You mean to say commercial interests don't come in? You mean to say these considerations are not important considerations? You're selling series based on this guy. Otherwise, who, how does this bilateral series matter? Take Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli out of this bilateral series on the day of the FIFA World Cup final. Which fool will go to Lords and why? Why? Tell me. This is England. I will much rather book a pub and go and watch the third place match on the 18th and then get drunk and then watch the next day. I will not go to Lords at 11 a.m. in the morning on the Sunday and waste my time. I am doing what people are doing because it's Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli. So how do you say that, oh, none of these things matter? You mean to say a World Cup without Messi and Ronaldo would have been the same? Who says so? Who says so? So when we say things, hold your horses, boss. This is Rohit Sharma you're talking about. There are many considerations and many layers. As sensible journalists, we have to keep all of that in mind.
Absolutely. Let's wait for the layers to unfold in the coming days. Retirement or no retirement, we'll be tracking everything from the UK. Boreala and the entire team is there. Trisha, Rohit, Amit, all are there. So we'll keep our eyes open, eyes and ears open regarding Rohit Sharma and the Indian team. So stay tuned to Revsportz. Hope you like this video. Drop your comments, your opinions in the comment section below, and subscribe to Revsportz for all things sports from all over the world. Thank you so much for watching.